Hi. So I thought I would talk about the Dark Enlightenment a little bit while playing Children of Morta, which is a pretty fun game to be honest. Um, I'm not the biggest fan of the Dark Enlightenment. Like, there's one thing I like about them, and that's their vision of the cathedral and how it pertains to leftist politics. And, like, if you take journalists as scribes and academia as scribes, then the cathedral fills for the left the position. It fills in the position of. It fills in the position pretty nicely. But I'm not a fan of the Dark Enlightenment's proposed solutions. And that's like my biggest gripe. Like, they believe in autocracy, and they want to have it so that there's elected when they get into power, or unelected, inherited positions of power where your only right is to leave. And I believe in human rights. Like, I believe in freedom, and I believe that a democratic system is the best way to go about these things. So, when the Dark Enlightenment says that we need. So, when the Dark Enlightenment says that we need to abandon liberalism, I disagree completely. I think the main issue is there's not enough liberalism. Like, like personally, I think free speech covers hate speech. I'm not a fan of hate speech particularly. Like, if someone's just using a racial epithet as a swear word, then I'm like, okay, whatever. But like, if they actually believe in racial segregation and discrimination, then I'm against it. And I believe that the best counter to actual racism is there's this guy named Daryl Davis who actually is black, and he befriended the KKK, a lot of members, and like he was just non-stereotypical. Like, he didn't ascribe to the stereotypes of black people that the racists had, and they couldn't hate him eventually because he just kept disproving their constant barrage of it, insulting language and stuff like that. And then there's Christopher Hitchens. And Christopher Hitchens actually gave a platform to white supremacists, but he basically discredited them and in front of everyone. And then you look at Mr. Medicare and his chat with Nick Fuentes, and like, Nick Fuentes was not doing that well because of some censorship, but like, he was doing okay. And then Mr. Medicare came along and using free speech basically dismantled the entirety of Nick's movement and got people to quit his movement. Because he just pointed out the contradictions Nick Fuentes' thinking. To the point where Nick Fuentes was like, morality is for F. It's an anti-gay slur that starts with an F. And like, Nick Fuentes calls himself a Catholic monarchist. And like, for him to say that morality is basically just not okay is like totally hypocritical. And I'm pretty sure he alienated a large part of his support base by saying that. Like, maybe not a lot, but like enough for it to be meaningful. And like, I don't know, it's sort of like, what's the phrase? Sunlight is the best disinfectant? Like, you want people to be... I think you do want people exposed to hate speech a little bit. Not a lot necessarily, but enough to understand what it is and how it works. And then you want to expose them to all the rationale against it. And I think that if you have people who are openly speaking, that the actual hate will diminish. Like, there might be an uptick temporarily. Because it's been so long, so people are like, oh, I can say whatever I want. I'm going to say the worst things possible. Which is kind of like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's worrying, but like... But, like, I think that if we could get past the initial barrage of hate speech, that it will turn out just fine. And that people will, when exposed to the rationales against hate speech, actually ultimately choose to be a little more kind and accepting. Now, there's some stuff that might never get accepted, which is like the shout your abortion stuff, because, like, honestly, abortion is kind of a nasty thing. But sometimes it might be a necessary evil. I mean, sometimes. And I mean sometimes, but not a lot, hopefully. Like, using a condom instead is probably for the best. And like I've had a pregnancy scare and I pushed for abortion, but I pushed for it early because I don't feel like because I feel that if you let the baby develop and gestate, or the fetus develop and gestate, that eventually it's going to become a person. And the earlier you do it, the less likely it is to be a person. Like, it could be an early threshold for that, but, like, that was my logic for it. And honestly, I didn't think I could possibly take care of a child at the time. And, I'm not happy about my situation there. Like, I wasn't thinking. But with any luck, hopefully the pregnancy scare was just a scare. Which would be nice. Because I don't want... I don't want to be responsible for having put someone through an abortion. Because I view it as an ultimately tragic thing. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, back to the Dark Enlightenment. I don't think they're sufficiently liberal in order to know what's best for society, and I don't trust anyone that wants to control society in an extreme manner. Like, giving a lot of control to single people just isn't good in my opinion. Which is basically my stance on censorship. Like, having singular entities control speech is, like, disturbing.
In the distance, a chuckle echoed as another approached his table.
Yeah. I don't feel that... I don't feel that anyone should have the right to control what other people say, particularly. Aside from some basic stuff, like no threats, incitement to violence, stuff like that. I think that should be, and even that, like, you deserve a jury of your peers. Now, I don't think mob justice is where it's at for that, but like having a sober jury that's protected from mob rule decide the fate of someone that threatens or incites violence and stuff like that. Like, 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 how do I put it? I mean, like, when Antifa says punch Nazis, it's like, I mean, okay, but who's a Nazi? And like, they broaden the definition, so they end up punching so many people that aren't actually Nazis. And it's like, okay, I can kind of get behind the idea of punching a Nazi, but not if they're just a Nazi. Like, if they're... Like, if they're actively plotting to take over the world, then, like, they're actually trying to, and they're marshalling troops
The object was
on the
small,
streets.
but the power it held filled the room.
Then, like, yes, punch the Nazi. But, like... But, like... If they're peacefully demonstrating and they're, like... They're just saying that they don't like Jews or something, then, like... I say they don't have to like Jews, they just have to leave them alone. But if they're going out and actually violently attacking Jews, then it's like, okay, fair game, fair game. Like, yeah, I can see why you want to punch them. Because I would too. Like, if you're going out and attacking people, then I think you deserve a punch in the face. And I mean, I'm not perfect. But, like... Yeah, I'm not perfect, but I've never done a hate crime, as far as I know. I mean, maybe I accidentally did or something. But, I mean, that kind of defeats the purpose of the hate crime, where it's like, it was accidental. So, I mean, there's that.
Even fortune is in Rhea's hands, was all Margaret murmured.
Anyways, yeah. Those are just my thoughts.